to my channel. Thank you all so much for coming back. So starting off, my hair is already braided. As you can see, I have 13 braids, and what I did was just connected the back braids, the leftover at the end, up into the ones that I did at the top, and we got 2 at the bottom. So next I'm going to take this crochet needle and I'm going to crochet the end piece into the braids. So next I'm putting in a leave-in conditioner, and this is what I'm putting in. We're doing 3 bundles, 24, 24, 22, and a 20-inch frontal in the front. As you can see, I already plucked it, I tinted it, and I bleached it, all that good stuff. So next I'm going to comb back my edges, and I'm going to add this got to be glued gel to my edges to lay my hair down. Next we're going into these legs knee highs, and I'm using nude. I'm going to cut that knee part holder thing off, and I'm going to make it into a cap and put it all over my hair, head, forehead, and face. And then I am going to cut a little hole so that my lashes and face is not like smushed to death and I can't see what I'm doing. So I'm also going to cut out the ears and pull my ears out so that the cap will lay flat. So I'm going right back in with the got to be glued gel, and I am pasting everything down, and I am only going along my hairline. Do not go over your hairline. And then I'm going to spray it with the got to be glued blast spray right over where I put the gel, just reinforcing, and then I'm going to blow dry until this is completely dry. You can use a hooded dryer for this, but mine was not on hand. So next, once everything is completely dry, I cut off the excess cap around my head and from around my ears as well, because I don't need that. So next I'm going to cut the front, and then I'm going to add some foundation, which I think next time I'm going to try to do this first and then add my gel. But yeah, it still works, but this is how I did it. Then I took that same color that I put on the cap, and I'm actually putting it at the bottom of the frontal so that the colors match. Then I'm going to lock that in with the got to be glued blast spray, and I'm going to proceed to cut off the rest of that cap. Make sure you use sharp scissors for this because it makes it so much easier. Mine were dull, and you can see that I had to keep cutting and cutting and cutting. And yeah, it would have been a lot easier with sharp scissors. So with those end pieces, I'm just going to re-tack that down with the spray. And it's going to take away that light color because it's going to like melt it into my scalp, as you can see. And then I attached this elastic band to my frontal, just sewed a couple stitches just so that it will stay in place. And you'll see later on where I cut that off. But it's just because I can't hold it and sew it at the same time, and I had no one to help me, so this is what I did. So as you can see, that looks like my scalp color, and that was the purpose of the foundation, the tinting, the cap, all of that plays a part. So then I just section it, put it where I want it to be, and I'm gonna sew it in place. And this is where that elastic band helps because it won't move back and I won't have to worry about it shifting while I'm sewing that part down. And so I just sew little stitches in it, and then when I'm done, I go ahead and knot it twice, and then I just take my scissors and I'm going to cut the excess off. And as you can see, it is secure now. So now I'm going to work on the sides to make the sides fit my head the way it should. And I'm just going to part right above my ear where my hairline actually stops, my natural hairline, which would be like where my first braid is. And I'm going to cut that off because I don't need it. And I'm cutting it in a slanted, like a diagonal motion, I guess. And I'm going to slant it up around my ear just as my normal hair is. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm going to part that in a slant so that I know where to cut it, and it'll be cut in a slant around my ear as well, just like this. And this is where I will cut off the elastic band as well. I'm going to go up and around that elastic band because I don't need it anymore. I just needed it to keep the frontal in place, and I'm just going to chop that right off just like that. So this is what I cut off. That's the hair, excess hair. And then I'm going to clean my scalp, making sure that I remove all dirt and oil from my skin. And then I'm going in with the Ghost Bond XL. And I am going to add a kind of generous layer around where I have that cap at. And then I'm going to take just a little popsicle stick and I'm going to smooth that out so that it lays flat, completely flat against the hairline. And I'm going to go back and make sure that everything is even before I move on. But I am going to put it on my forehead as well as on the cap. And then I'm going to blow dry it until it's clear. I actually repeat that step 3 times, and then I can lay the frontal once it's completely clear. Don't lay it when it's still white. So then I'm just going to put the middle down. I'm not going to smush it down with my hands, but I'm going to use my comb first and just place the frontal down so that it's laying in the glue. And then I went in once it was sitting for a few minutes, and then I just pressed down lightly with my hands to make sure that there was no bulging in the lace or anything, so that when I parted it, everything laid completely flat against my head and that there was no bulges at all. So I'm going to pull that hair back out of the way, and I'm going to put a bandana on my head so that it can melt into my scalp as I'm sewing. So then I'm going to start with the 24-inch in the back, and I'm sewing straight across, starting with the bottom, very bottom braid. And of course I'm just going to sew across as I normally would across the braids at the bottom. And then once I get closer to the top, you'll see I just sew right across the straight back braids as well. And I did 2 24s and a 22 at the top. So this is what it looks like with all the hair in. I tied it in a ponytail, and now I'm taking down that bandana and this rapid little strip to mold your hair so that I can fix the front lace part now. So now I am going to go ahead and cut this excess lace off. And it's very important to go ahead and start from the middle. It makes it easier. And just like I said, make sure you use really sharp scissors for this, or like a razor or something, whatever is easiest. But make sure you don't cut this straight across, because that's when it looks wiggy. So here I'm cutting like a rugged zigzag motion-ish like cut so that it looks like an actual hairline. And just keep in mind your natural hairline, because our hairlines are not straight across. And I know that I have a natural widow's peak, so I tried to keep that shape so that it looks more natural. And I know the sides of my hair, they come out a little more. And yeah, I just keep in mind my natural shape of my hairline to make it look natural. And then I just cut all of that lace off. So then I went back in, of course, and just cleaned up what I couldn't get with that first round. And I try to cut and take off anywhere that looks like completely straight. So then I went in and pulled out some baby hairs, or potential baby hairs rather. I just pulled out hair from the hairline, not too thick. So I went in and went ahead and weaved through that and pulled some hair out. Put the rest in a ponytail so it's not in the way. And then I used a little razor to just cut the hairs. They're kind of long still, but I wanted to leave them long as opposed to cutting too much off. And then I'm going to lay them with this Nairobi hair wrap. And I'm just going to put it on my baby hairs. And this is oil free, so it's not going to make your lace lift. So I went right ahead and put that on, laid it down with a rapid strip again, and then let that set while I work on the rest of the hair and trying to make it look a little more natural. So then I take my straightening comb, which I don't like that much, but I take it and I'm flattening out the frontal, because as you know, it comes kind of puffy and then you have to lay it or whatever. And then I just went ahead and took it and put it in a pony. This is what it looks like with the baby hairs combed out. I wanted it to look not so, like, I don't know, a little more effortless. I want it to look a little more natural, like I'm just here but I'm not really trying to do nothing. So I just put the hair up in a bun because I was literally like just showing you guys the install. If you want to see how I actually styled this hair or how I'm going to style this hair, stay tuned for that video. That's going to be a different video, but this is how I do my frontal sew ins, and I'm just going to put this on my head, this head wrap, and be ready for bed. So thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I will see y'all guys later. Leave me a thumbs up if you like this video and if you want more hair tutorials. Okay, bye.